All right now. All right, coming to y'all again on another new moon. How y'all making out there? My Bayou region folk, my Thibodaux people. Whew, in the hot south. Y'all done made it through another summer. Alumni picnics are over. School starting back. Y'all got them churn off to school. You know I had to come on here and see how y'all making out. Hey, Mr. Sunny. See how y'all told y'all. We regular. We right at home. We in the South. You sitting on your porch, people go wave. You go wave. So let's get in here. How y'all making out? Right in time for another new moon in our community healing circle. We've been on here every month, coming on here on a new moon, talking to these people on these people internets, talking about all this mental health stuff. So this for the adults. The kids back in school getting their lessons, so this our class. We've been doing our class once a month in the School of Emotional Recovery. We've been coming in here getting our lesson. Cause it's wild out here. Y'all know it's wild out here in this wild west. Me and my friends, we call it Jumanji. Because it's one wild thing after another. So many intense emotional experiences coming up right now. I even find myself in situations where I'm mad, or situations where other people that I know mad. A lot of fire coming up right now, a lot of heat, a lot of anger. Just like this typical summer, experiences feel so hot or suffocating. It just feels like so many people are at their breaking points, you know? And so I was like, let me come on here and talk to my people. Got a little story for them. Speaking of breaking points, thinking of things breaking, got a little story for them. So the other day, I was washing dishes. Well, I wasn't washing dishes. The dishwasher was washing dishes. And when it finished, my dishwasher got a high heat setting at the end. You know, the ones when you open it up when the dishwasher finish and the steam come out, that's how mine is, how hot. So as soon as it finished, I opened it up. Steam was coming out. I grabbed this pitcher out of the dishwasher's pitcher that I love, this glass pitcher, crystal pitcher. It was a gift. I love it, but you know, I love making stuff and making juices and making teas and stuff. So I pulled it out immediately, still piping hot. Pulled out the thing, geek balling, speed balling, moving too fast, and instantly, things still hot. Instead of letting it cool off, I started to pour cold water into it. And I heard this crack. This is not the same glass, but I brought props to class today because I wanted to show y'all, tell y'all my story with props. I started hearing this cracking sound in the glass. As soon as I poured the cold water into it, the glass started to shatter, similar to this pattern. Now this is not the same glass, and this glass has a shattered pattern, but it was just like this. The thing started shattering from top to bottom. Now, it's been a long time since I've been in science class, but what I assumed was the glass cracked because of the quick change of temperature. I didn't let the glass cool down. I just poured that cold water in it too quick. And boy, I was so mad. I was mad at the glass and I was mad at myself at first. And then, after a while, just moving about, I realized that the glass was actually showing me something. This experience was teaching me that the pitcher, it wasn't that the pitcher was weak. It was a very sturdy pitcher. The pitcher was hot. And I didn't let it cool down. And it needed more time to cool down. And I didn't give it that. And so it shattered. And I was like, boy, now ain't that a message? Ain't that a message? Because I know that's sometimes how I find myself living. One stressful thing after another, one phone call, another, one project after another, one deadline after another, one family conflict or family drama thing after another that I gotta be involved in, one hard conversation after another, one disappointment. Do y'all be living like that sometimes? Don't y'all find that in Jumanji? In Jumanji, be one thing after the another. We go from the next thing to the next thing to the next thing without allowing ourselves to cool down, to slow down, to cool off a bit before jumping into the next extreme environment or intense experience or intense conversation or intense relationship. This is how we act. No wonder why we feel anxious and overwhelmed and reactive or exhausted. It's not because something wrong with us. It's because we've been carrying too much heat, moving from these extreme experiences to the next without allowing ourselves enough time and space to cool off, to settle, to process, to feel. And that's one of the reasons why I believe so deeply in these therapeutic spaces or therapy or circles or whatever you want to call it. These spaces where you receive the care you need after we've gone from all these intense experiences that bring up so much anger, depression, grief. We haven't sat and done that. And sometimes what we actually need is a space where we have enough time to cool off, to process, to sit with, to be held, to receive care. Remember last month we was talking about, well, why we even do this? Why we even act like this? Where that come from? Remember some of the sayings that we talked about last time, like the rules, the stories that everybody just knew, stuff like stop crying, get over it, keep pushing, be strong, get that boot out of your mouth before I give you something to cry about. Remember that one from the slide last time? You don't know what we're talking about? Go back and look at the last new moon post. These are the ways that we may have been taught how to act in our community. And it may have been helpful back then, or our parents may have thought it was helpful back then. It may even have helped some of our ancestors survive. But it also taught us how to move past our feelings too quickly instead of making space to experience them before allowing ourselves to cool and settle, instead of moving from thing to thing to thing without processing, without sitting with, without being held. That's how we crack. That's how we shatter. Extreme temperatures, extreme environments, extreme situations, back to back to back. So how do we let ourselves cool down? How do we let ourselves settle? What does that even look like, Simone? What even is this? Oh, I got to practice for you. We got to practice for your homework. All right. So this is what I want you to do. Here's the practice. I want you to think about something in your life right now that really has got your nerves bad. Something that you think about before you go to bed, is always on your mind in the middle of the night. Your mind has just been going ham, thinking about this thing, it's making your nerves bad. All right, so you got it in your mind, right? Now, I want you to simply say this to yourself, either out loud or to yourself. When you think about that thing, I want you to say, this is really hard for me. I'm having a real hard time with this right now. And I'm doing the best that I can with what I have today. That's it. Simple, huh? Seems very simple, but very powerful. Because our brains is listening when we talk to ourselves like that. Instead of adding more criticism and pressure, you're giving your mind and your body a little room to cool down, to settle. And that's mental health work too. Mental health is learning how to be with ourselves when life gets hard. And so saying soothing words like that to ourselves when things feel intense, we're actually sending a signal to the brain. It tells the brain, I actually don't have to be on high alert right now. I can slow down. So try it out. Try it out. Don't believe me. What I say, try it out. The more and more you practice this, that's why we call it practice. Because your emotions and all of that and thoughts not just going to go away. The practice is helping yourself better deal with the intense things that come up. Because intense things come up for me still, and I practice this all the time. The more and more you can practice this self-compassion when you're going through tense experiences, the more you can say them and really believe them, something powerful actually shifts in your brain. And it might not be your words that you want to say. Your words might be, man, this tough, man, this hard as shit right now, but I'm all right. Other people go through stuff like this too. But you got to practice it. Compassionate words to yourself. Not, come on now, get over it. You got to do better than this. Not that. So if you need help coming up with some compassionate words, a compassionate phrase, hit me up. We could talk about it. And if you already have some compassionate words, let me know. We're going to create a little template of all these words, and I might share them with y'all. Things that y'all could say to yourselves when you're having a hard time, but you got to practice it. Okay? So, we're going to get in here. We're going to try it. We got to try something because the other way ain't working. Because we just been continuing to find ourselves in more pain, more suffering, more grief without any relief. Just going from one intense thing to another, and we're on the verge of shattering. So these are the things that helped me when I was on the verge of shattering once upon a time. So we're going to continue on this healing journey together. Meet me here in class next month. We'll take it one layer deeper. So see y'all later. Be so good to yourself. Remember, you're doing so good. All right? Talk to y'all later. Ashe. Peace.